Have you ever wondered how to improve emotional wellness? It's a phenomenal question. If you have been struggling with the difficult times that we've been in and just being able to adapt to different stressors or even the change in our reality, then you may have been wondering this very question. Now, if that sounds like you are in the right place because I'm here to answer that question in today's video. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Shockley, Doctor of Cause Chiropractic, board certified in sports medicine and specialized in clinical nutrition. In this video, we're going to go over the key behind phenomenal emotional wellness. It is one that we are all capable of owning. Then we'll cover the most common fundamental you are totally skimping out on because of the crazy world that we're living in. If you work at just mastering this one fundamental, not only will your emotional wellness be so much better, but your overall health and well-being will dramatically improve too. And finally, I will be sharing with you the number one variable that is either helping you or harming you. It's a factor in everyone's life, but it's not something that has to break you down. Let's dive on in. Now, if this video sounds like you need to know the rest of the details, well, to gain instant access, all you need to do is look for the link down in the comments below or in my bio, and you will have the whole rest of the shebang right there. I can't wait to see you on the other side. What is the key behind phenomenal emotional wellness? Well, it's one word. It's known as resilience. Now, when we think of resilience, I think many of us will think about kids and how they seem to just go through life and it doesn't matter, bumps, bruises, bangs, whatever the world's throwing at them, they seem to bounce back really, really quick. But as we continue to get older, we seem to lose some of our capacity to bounce back and just be resilient to the world that is around us. Now, I want to share with you real quick 6 strategies that actually helps you improve and strengthen your resilience to the world around you. These are things that you need to start diving in a little bit more deeper on. So number 1 would be, how do you work at brightening your outlook on life and the world that you're living in? Instead of looking to react to what's happening to you, how can you step back and observe and find the good and learn how to respond? The second strategy would be figuring out how to reduce stress. Stress is not going away and we're not invincible, but there are things that we can do to reduce our stress levels. Number 3 is improving sleep. Sleep is a super important variable that we might just be touching more on here in a moment. Another critical factor for increasing your resilience is learning how to cope with loss, whether that is loss of a loved one, of a job, of, change in your reality, and it's different from what it's been. Being able to know how to cope with loss is really critically important. Number 5 is strengthening our social connections. Even those of us who are, more of an introvert, we still need to have some level of social connection. We were not designed to be completely by ourselves all of the time. But in those social connections, we want to make sure we're surrounding ourselves with people that also are working on these factors or seem to already have some of these things figured out. Because remember, who we hang out with totally influences what our life looks like, what our outlook on life looks like. So it's critically important that we want healthy social connections. And then the last factor that we want to be aware of and start implementing more of is just being mindful. Okay. Ultimately, the biggest thing with being mindful is not going through life on autopilot. Like, we want to work at being more present in the moment, being aware of our surroundings, being aware of what's actually going on internally, and truly being present. Now, I'm super curious. Did you know that resilience was the key behind having phenomenal emotional wellness? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, what is the most common fundamental that you are more than likely skimping out on? It would be sleep. Sleep is part of what's essential for us to live. Now, yeah, we can go with skimping out on sleep for a period of time, but unfortunately, it does catch up with us. And this is coming from somebody who knows this topic all too well. We only have so much reserves in our reserve tank, and eventually our reserve tank gets really low. And ultimately, going without sleep shows up in much more pronounced ways. And here's a really sad fact about skipping out on sleep on a regular basis. You really cannot make up for the lack of sleep. Maybe, the periodic interrupted night, if it happens once every few months and you can, take a couple of power naps over a weekend, maybe you can kind of log that sleep back in. But when you are continually not getting enough quality sleep, you are absolutely not going to catch up on that. And you are just starting to really tap into that reserve tank, which ultimately is making it so you are not going to be resilient. Because if your reserve tank is empty, ultimately what that means is your body has lost its ability to compensate or to adapt to the world that's going on around it. Now, if sleep is something you struggle with, just a couple of really easy, simple tips that help set you up for a more successful sleep at night would be incorporating a bedtime. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. People who do this, their bodies are in a routine. We are creatures of routine and habit. So just like we do with our kiddos, we need to have that in place for ourselves. It is something that allows the body to know, oh, sleep is coming. Like it's about my bedtime. I should probably start winding down. Sleeping in a completely pitch black room is also helpful. Light can disrupt different hormone patterns within the body and really hinder you from sleeping soundly and getting to those deeper levels of sleep at night. Make sure your room is like a sleep haven. The only thing that should be happening in your room is sleep and love. Okay. You shouldn't be working. You shouldn't be eating. You shouldn't be watching TV. Your animals shouldn't be in bed with you. It is purely for sleep and love with your loved one. Okay. With that said, you want to make sure your temperature is set more at an ideal range, which is right around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. You can go a little bit lower than that, a little bit higher than that, but not much. That temperature is kind of ideal for helping our body wind down. It almost puts us in a hibernation type of a state. So it's another critically important piece. And there is a multitude of other things that we could go into, but those are some of the most influential factors that help you either sleep soundly at night or keep you awake. Now, before I get into the most significant variable that is either helping you or harming you, I just want to take a moment and remind you to click that subscribe button right down below, turn the notifications on, and give me a big thumbs up while you're down there. I am continually producing videos for you to help you be able to take back control of your health, whether you're dealing with brain fog and lack of focus or just not having enough energy. Maybe you're just not feeling like yourself anymore and you don't know what's wrong, but you know something's not right. These videos are for you. They're designed to help you be able to detect what's going on with your health, be able to take back control of your health, and achieve what I like to call total body mastery. So again, click that subscribe button right down below, turn the notifications on, and give me a big thumbs up while you're down there. Awesome. What is the most significant variable that is either helping or harming you? Well, it's not going to surprise you, but it's stress. So how is stress helpful, you may ask? Because I know if you're sitting there on the other side of this video, you're probably like, stress is not great. Small amounts of stress can actually help energize you to be able to help propel through the rest of your day. Stress is also something that's needed. Like when we exercise, we put some stress through our body to help it actually increase its strength and power output and be able to go longer, at a higher intensity. Those types of stressors are actually good for our body. It's when we get into the chronic, continual stress, whether it's a high level or even a low level, if it's chronic and it's constant, that starts to become detrimental to our body. We were not meant to live in this flight or fight pattern that happens when stress occurs. Okay. Our body has many other functions that are supposed to happen when we're not in flight or fight, which flight or fight is our survival mechanism. It's okay to have a survival mechanism happen when you're out on a trail and all of a sudden a cougar is in line with you. That's a really good time for your body to kick into flight or fight mode, because what it's doing is it's preparing you to either hightail it out of there in a strategic manner so you don't ensue a chase, or to stand your ground if that's what you're choosing to do with the cougar. Now, once you've dealt with the cougar and you're back in safety, your body comes back out of this flight or fight mode. But you see what happens because of the world that we're living in right now, we constantly have some level of stress occurring that's putting us back in that flight or fight state. That state does not allow all the other normal functions in our body to occur. For example, like digesting, sleeping, repair our immune system. It actually stresses all of those different systems. So we have to figure out, how do we get a better grip on stress? Clearly, stress is not going away. Okay. And I have not found the magic wand to wave to say you're resilient to stress. All right. What we need to do is focus on, how do we manage our stress levels? What can we do every day that helps kind of clear out whatever stress may have happened that day? Or if it's a continuation, we need to take time every day to de-stress and decompress. So whether that is, having a nice soak in an Epsom salt bath, reading a book that gets your mind off of everything, practicing deep breathing, meditation, yoga techniques. Exercise itself is phenomenal for helping flip us back out of that flight or fight pattern. The key is we need to put something in place on a daily basis, even if it's just for a few moments, that helps our body be able to flip back out of that flight or fight state. Now, there's another factor in here that we're not going to dive completely into, but one of the things that's critically important for emotional health and well-being is making sure that your brain is functioning at a high level and that it has as close to optimal health as possible. One of the most effective ways that you can do that is by eating for brain health. And guess what? When you eat for brain health, everything else about your health is also going to improve. So I have an example of what this looks like for you. All you need to do to access it is go right down below this video, click on the description that's there so it expands out. Scroll down and you'll see an Eat Your Way to Better Brain Health meal plan. All you need to do is click the link that's there, tell me where to send that, and you will have an actual tangible example of what it looks like to eat for brain health. And keep in mind, you get all the recipes, you get a grocery list, and the meal plan that I designed is for people who are super busy, that don't have time to live life in the kitchen, or maybe you just don't enjoy living life in the kitchen. But if you put this into place, I guarantee you by the end of the 7-day stretch, you will have better emotional wellness. May not be completely resilient and living life the way that you want to, but you will be on that journey and on that path. I appreciate you being here. I hope that today was helpful. I can't wait to see you on a future video. God bless.